So where do they go from here? How can you turn this around? Besides the fact that you're getting 3 teams coming up here to close out the year that aren't exactly world beaters, but you do have some dangerous teams.
They're going to win. They will win 3 out of 4 almost certainly. I mean, this week against Carolina. Carolina's not a particularly scary matchup. They don't have a quarterback. It should be similar to the Jets game. Carolina comes in as kind of like a Jets junior, where they run the ball. Right now with Williams out, maybe not quite as well as the Jets did. Their defense isn't as good as the Jets, so let's put it this way: if they lose to the Carolina Panthers, then there's problems. And not that and again, the Panthers are an okay team, but if you can't win at home against the Panthers with the second string quarterback and a team that's really not playing for anything, I think that the Patriots have I don't give them much of a shot. I mean, they're probably going to play Denver in the first round of the playoffs, and judging it unless things change a lot right now, I'd probably pick Denver,
even in Foxborough.
Yeah. I mean, if it's the same Patriots team that we saw where Moss is off, he's, and as you may know, I like Moss.
Yeah, and you're kind of an observer of Moss throughout his career.
Yes, Moss, he's a guy that, I think he puts in all the time leading up to games, and I think he works hard, but he's a guy who mentally can get taken out of games, and you see it. I mean, you see it happen. You can see when Moss isn't right, and you definitely see it sometimes. He just, for whatever reason, I don't think it's a lack of hustle. Even I think it's just he's a strange man.
How troubling has their offensive play calling been for you? Because
they're moving the ball.
It almost seems to me, and it's weird to say this, they almost seem too reliant on Brady. It's like,
well, they are, yeah. It's
Brady will figure this out, and it's
their strength. I mean, that's what are they good at? They're good at throwing the ball to Randy Moss and Wes Welker. That's this team. You take Moss and Welker off and replace them with Rashae Caldwell and Troy Brown, and we're talking about a 3-9 team here. Mm-hmm. Probably, honestly, I don't think they wouldn't be winning games, or maybe
But Brady did a lot with very little earlier in his career.
Okay, all right. Let me rephrase that.
Like 3 Super Bowls.
Like if you put good average receivers out there, they probably are going to run the ball 35 times a game because they have a good enough. Their offensive line is good enough to do it. So, play calling, I don't know. I don't really. I haven't seen it. I've never found myself saying, "Oh, why are they making this call or this call?" I haven't really found myself doing that. So
I guess it kind of feeds back to I look at that Saints game, and I know this has been beaten into the ground before.
Did they win? They lost that one.
They lost that game, and they probably are going to lose it no matter what happens. But they had so much success running the ball on that first drive. Then they come out on the second drive, and they're 5 wide, and Brady throws an interception. Like, why would you not go back to? It feels like they don't have enough faith in their run game to make it an established part of that offense.
I know what you mean. Maybe they are a little bit of a mess. They don't seem to have. They look like a team that's not coming together.
I think it's true that if Fred Taylor is very close to coming back, which is what we're hearing, and if that's the case, then I think that'll help solidify things a little bit more with the run game, and we might see more of a balanced offense if Taylor's healthy. But if not, I mean, I'm very worried about this running game going into postseason football, snow and Foxborough type of situation because
they're not going to win. They're not going anywhere.
Their best case,
they're
absolute best case is making the title game, and that's probably a 5 to 10% proposition because I still think they can win in Indianapolis. I don't think.
Of course they can,
but I don't think they can beat San Diego.
Oh no, I disagree. I think they could have beaten any team that they played this season if they played the game the correct way. I
guess, yeah. But their defense is bad. They have a bad defense. I mean, and worse, it looked like their pass defense was going to be good, and then you look at it and you say, well, when they played against the teams that could pass, what happened? They passed all over them, including Denver.
Did Sean Springs kill Belichick's dog?
I don't know. He's got to be. I don't think he's hurt.
But he's been practicing.
Has he been?
Yeah.
I don't think he killed Belichick. Does Belichick have a dog?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But the guy
Breaking news.
The guy can't get on the field? I mean, really?
Dog lover?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's it's beyond me to be able to break down. I'm not astute enough in looking at a defense and saying, well, what's wrong with it? I mean, I can look at the numbers and say, I can infer and say, well, but I mean, their defensive line has been bad too. I mean, teams are running on them. I mean, the teams have had no problem running on them. I mean, I love Vince Wilfork, but he certainly appears to be out of shape to me. I mean, I know that he's supposed to be big, but he looks like. I mean, he looks like he's 40 pounds overweight to me.
Does Vince Wilfork realize that he has not gotten his contract yet?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's having a good year. Do they miss Seymour? Sure they do. I mean, is Ty Warren having a good year? I mean, maybe. The 3-4 guys are having the defensive ends and the 3-4 are having a good year when the team is stopping the run and getting heat on the quarterback, and they're not really doing it. They're not stopping the run. Bantacane's been good, rushing occasionally.
But is that a positive?
I mean, if Tully Bantacane is your stand,
yeah.
I mean, if you look at the Patriots, you say, well, who are their best players on defense? Like visibly from looking at them, it's Bantacane and Bodden have had the most impact. That ain't good. That's two 30-year-old journeyman guys. So I think that you're going to see, and I don't want to be too gloomy, but Brady, Moss, and Welker, they're not young.
Yeah.
So basically, it's all over.